kind of in one layer along the bottom here. I didn't really get the oil all along there. Probably should put some of the oil on the chicken here first. But so we're just kind of doing it at medium temp here, because with chicken, it kind of takes time for it to cook up here. So if we look here, I'm turning it up a little bit here, but you see right now if I try to move this one, it sticks. See if it sticks? But if I give it some time, it'll actually then seal up, get a nice crust, and then it will then be able to do that. So that's what it is. So we'll just wait a moment for that to occur. I've already pre-chopped everything else. So you can see I've got the sauce here. And the sauce is essentially almost 1 to 1 to 1 with fish sauce, lime, and sugar. But actually the lime is a little bit less because otherwise it turns out a little bit sour. I also put a little bit of the Golden Mountain sauce in there as well. But this here is the 50-50 mixture. And I don't put it in the oil initially because it'll just burn if you just let it sit there. So we've given it a little bit of time here. You can see that now if I move it, they're getting a nice crust on that. So the key is not to move it around too much because it can get a nice crust on the bottom. Then afterwards we'll essentially almost individually flip each one over just for this to get some good consistent cooking. You can actually pull this out after, for a while and then set it aside, which can be good. But we'll see if we'll do it all in one right now or not. You can see it's starting to get nice and crispy here. You gotta wait until everything's done. It's better to let it to get a little bit more crisp than not. And so, a little bit. So I'm going to have a little bowl here to, once I finish cooking the chicken, I'm going to set it aside because I want to make sure that I don't overcook the chicken in the thing. So, let's see here. So now it's looking pretty. So you just kind of turn it over and you can see, a lot of the pieces are getting nice and brown here. And then also, you can have some nice, so I might move some of the outer ones to the inside here. That's just because of my pan. So once that kind of goes away there, then you can kind of do that. And actually, in this case here, I probably, because I don't have that much, it's a pretty big pan and there's a lot of room for stuff to move around. So probably I can just put the chicken in here. We'll see. I'll probably move it. Given that mushroom, I think actually probably I'll cook it around the same speed, so probably what I'll do is I'll wait for this to complete, and a lot of times you can tell if it's done based on listening to it or seeing how much steam comes off, but you can always just check them to see if, the other side, really is starting to crisp up here. So I'm going to pull these off here. So you can see there's still some stuff down on the bottom. Some of the pieces might still be a little bit, they're probably not fully cooked right now, but we're going to combine this with the other thing later on. And so, because I want this sponge down here for the other part here. So quickly I've got to get, so before that burns, I'm going to get my, a little bit of oil down here. And then put, probably just mostly not keep the mushrooms, but keep the. If we want, we can put a little bit of the sauce in here, just to kind of loosen it up. Actually, I'll put a little bit of water in there. And the reason why I'm adding water right now is just to lift that base up, to kind of wait until the to get this fond off the bottom here, so that I can, because all this other stuff here will release a lot of water, but I wanted to get it, going a little bit first to begin with here. So I have it on pretty high heat right now. I'm using the induction, so it's a little bit odd here, but just wait. And probably right now, I can probably add my chili peppers here. So this is just 50% garlic and chilies here. So I'll put a little oil down here in the middle. I'm just gonna cook it there to release it. The reason why I don't put it in there in the beginning is because I want to avoid that. And this sauce can be quite pungent. I don't actually want it to go too deep into the veg and the chicken, otherwise it just becomes crazy, I mean, it's just like permeated throughout. You can't kind of not undo it, but just whatever here. So. So now that I put that in there, because there's a lot of water that's coming out of the mushrooms and the onion here. And so I want to let this go for a while, move it around. And you don't really need to stir that much, because you kind of want that to develop these little brown spots. You see that mushroom there? So. Probably actually right now I will add the chicken and the sauce back here. So because it's getting close to being done here, I want to give it a little time to combine here, but and then I'll just kind of pour this here. And just kind of let this combine here, and then you'll get a good, a nice sauce, to go with the rice and everything like that later on after this here. So I'm gonna let that go. I like my, mushrooms a little. Well, the mushrooms probably could stand to go a little bit longer, but in the chicken or the everything as well. So I'll give this a second here until the onions are kind of the doneness that you want. But you can tell that if I had left the chicken in there the entire time, it would just kind of be like boiling in there for way too long. And so now that that's cooking, I can kind of use this opportunity to put some of the stuff that I was using away. So this is where having a dishwasher is amazing. You can see down here the sauce is quite, nice, very, very tasty. For sure you should taste it. I measured everything out pretty precisely beforehand. So there's the rice cooker being done, so you can tell how precisely timed out this is. And so that actually might be too big for that. So now this is pretty much done. If you look at it, it's, that you still want some crunch in those veg for sure. For sure I should have been tasting it, but I was talking and whatever, trying to get everything ready here. So I'm going to turn that off, give it a taste. I'm just going to put some in here so you can see that, like sauce, you have a good sauce down below. Chicken still isn't overcooked. Like you got nice crust here on the chicken, which is great. And then, so let's kind of here. So I'm going to leave some of this in here. Just let it cool off and then let it whatever here. I might grab some of this sauce here, because this sauce is obviously gold for rice and all that. So, all right. So that's the Zorichi rice cooker, and I just added 160 grams of rice and about 203, 204 grams of water. And so I just did that because if you actually fill it up to the lines that they have in there, what I found is that the rice gets very soft. And I rinsed the rice until it ran clear here, but I'm just going to take some of this rice here and then put it in the bowl. it's really hard to hold it and whatever at the same time. That's okay. Next time I'll set up the tripod here. So probably not the prettiest dish, but extremely tasty. So you can see here that the garlic is not burned. I have a nice crust on a lot of the chicken here. You know, some of the crust would have cooked off into the sauce here, but you know, nothing's overcooked, and can enjoy it with some nice rice.